Today's Sherpa Review is an inside edition with Drew Rosener, Chris Zuiker, and myself. We discuss what happens on the back end of brokerage firm, plus our usual investor-submitted domains and NameJet domains. It's a fantastic show, fun and informative, good to the last drop. Enjoy. Hey, Sherpa Network. Thanks so much for joining us today. I'm Tess Diaz, Executive Producer of DomainSherpa.com, and this is the DomainSherpa Review. This is the show where we get into the minds of successful domain name investors using real examples so we can learn strategies and tactics to become better investors ourselves. Joining us today on the Sherpa Review are two past Sherpas and industry thought leaders. We have Drew Rosener, CEO of domain brokerage firm MediaOptions.com, and Chris Zuiker, Senior Broker at MediaOptions.com. So today we have a bit of an insider edition. We're going to start out the review with a slightly different segment where you get to see what goes on inside Media Options, since it would be a little weird to have us guess our own purchases and sales. This is the beginning of the domain name conference season. For our viewers who aren't aware of that, quite a few folks are at domain conferences right now. Definitely, if you have time this summer in your vacation schedule, we recommend you check that out. But in the meantime, we're doing an insider edition while all our regular Sherpas are traveling. Welcome, Drew. Welcome, Chris.
Yes.
Thanks, Tess.
Thank you. Yeah.
Delighted. And Chris, you are here by popular demand, let me tell you. I know you've never done a review before.
Right.
Yeah. But you'll fit right in. So
Thank you.
Let's jump right in to the first segment. It's What's New Sherpas. But this time, we're not going to guess what we bought or sold. Like I said, we're going to discuss what we've done. Not so much as to give you a background in media options, but to give you an inside edition on what happens inside a brokerage firm. So who wants to start? Chris?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a great title. I'll take the first 30 seconds here, Drew, okay?
Yeah, no. I think I should go last.
I mean, I think it's a good title because, I mean, I'm connected with, my social media platform is LinkedIn, okay? I never had a Facebook account, so I wasn't as big on that. I'm finally getting into it. I still am confused as hell, like all the different buttons and things on the side. Can't figure out half of it. But this is a good question because there's a lot of people who own domains and they have portfolios, and I think they like that insight, right? Like, how does it work? Like, how do we produce the volume that we produce? How do we go out now? Obviously, we're going to hold our secret sauce back, right? But we can give you, the macro view that'll help you, okay? And so I do try to help people that connect with me on LinkedIn as far as portfolio, valuations, how to respond. But I think that's a great segment because it would be a weird test to say, hey, I bought, I sold this, and Drew's like, wow, I wonder what it sold for,
Okay, so give us an overview, Chris. Bullet points, 5 things that you've done in the last week or so that you think our audience would find interesting or that just gives insight into your daily routine.
Okay, so let me see if I can keep on track here, okay, with 5 things. So I'd say the first one is outbound outreach, right? So the heart of media options, the heart of what we do is outbound, right? And that's connecting domains, premium domains with owners. And one of the hardest things I think with people who have domains, and we'll get to it in the next section, right, is the quality of the domain name, how you what doors are open for you, right? So outbound outreach is the heart of what we do, the heart of what I do is getting out.
What takes more time, Chris, in your outbound outreach? Figuring out who you want to reach out to or actually reaching out to them and following up in that?
Yeah, so quality of the domain name, right? So the quality of the domain name it makes it easy. So, when you look at, I think Drew, you've said it in other Sherpa shows, but great domain names, they're easier to reach out, okay? Because there's the keyword, there's momentum behind that domain name, and there's an interest, right? All I left my train of thought.
That translates just quick comment. It translates beyond just trying to sell the domain, right? Like, so it's one thing when you're trying to sell the domain and you're trying to sell, use example of, Santa.com, which we used to own and sold our interest in. But, Santa.com, when you knock on a door and you say, we're selling Santa.com, you pique their interest. And once that domain sells and that company who's now using it goes and knocks on vendors' doors, customers' doors, and they say, hey, we're Santa.com, people open the door.
Right.
When we had Santa.com and we were trying to figure out our original business model, I called Amazon headquarters, to speak with a big executive in merchandising. And I got an appointment because I was calling from Santa.com.
Right. Yeah.
For only that reason. And so it translates. The reason it's easier for you to open doors and, talk to people, it's not easy to sell the name, but getting through the door with a great domain it's easy, and that translates all the way through its life cycle.
Okay, but Drew, so okay. Like this, I love this topic, right? So that's the key to selling domain is that like how people, what did I say last time, Tess? I said it's the frame of mind that people are in doesn't allow them to buy, right? You have to break their global, okay, I forgot it. But
wait, Chris, I agree. But for now, I want to do like high level.
Okay, we'll get back on track. Okay.
So humankind.com.
I'm sorry?
Right? I don't know what humankind.com, you're brokering. You have a couple other names that you're working on really hard. Are you spending most of your time finding who you want to contact or actually talking with them? What have you done last week?
Yeah, so that's right. So yes, I mean, there's defining people to me is easy. Okay, so it's easy to find them. It's easy to contact them. It's that conversation when they come back to you. How do you change their frame of mind? So it's interesting. Like I do a daily post on LinkedIn. Okay, like I said, not really good on Facebook, although I am doing Facebook Live on our media options site. So if you're not on it, like, listen, you got to get on our page because I'm doing it. I don't know like what time it is, but I'm trying to do a daily.
I know what time it is.
Was it? Okay. So, like I'm digressing here, Tess, but how do you break their frame of mind? Right. And, I give kind of little snippets of some of my responses. There was one response where an executive came back and said, hey, we're going to pass. Like we already own the traffic for that keyword. My response was, yeah, you're probably right. The perfect buyer is most likely your competition, right? And like the reason why I share some of these things is like to keep it fun. Like negotiations, you can keep negotiations fun. It's not.
How did he respond to that?
He didn't yet.
Yeah.
that
All
was
right, coming up next time.
That was actually did respond back to it, and we got a conversation going. I don't know the exact details, but yeah, it broke it, right? So I put a little smiley face on it, right? I mean, it has to be. You got to know who the person is. I mean, it's not every time, but you want to, you want to keep keep negotiations fun. Sometimes it's very serious. It's very, you're in there, and I forgot the question again, but like that's outbound, right? So there's like this outbound outreach. That's the heart of media ops is what we do, and yeah.
So how many hours a week do you think you spend on outbound?
Lots. I mean, let's see, like 12 hours a day. I mean, like a lot.
Yeah.
I think right now it's like I'm at.
Like you follow up and count how many emails or phone calls you've made per domain per day, and I mean your numbers are enormous.
Yeah, I'm at like almost 67,000 contact points now, and I'm averaging I was at about 500 about 3 weeks ago. And now I've kind of crossed that where I'm getting about 1,000 plus. Now it's a combination of email, calling and no, it's per week.
Okay.
Per week.
Kudos to you.
Right. That's how I track it.
Okay. So you besides outbound brokerage, are you focusing on anything else right now? And I just want to pause and say that's really neat that you look at underneath your outbound brokerage are your videos, your LinkedIn posts, because you're doing those to grow response to your outbound outreach or to overcome objections that folks have. So besides that, anything else this week that you want to highlight?
Um, no, I mean, that's really it. I think, as one of the things we're doing is just ramping up a lot of our social media, ramping up we communicate the message, right? So there's LinkedIn, like I said, do a daily on that, getting on Facebook, doing more Facebook lives. And, if you can, drop a comment down below on like, what do you want to see? Like what would you like to see on these Facebook lives, right? Is it more domain valuations? Is it like the marketing side of it? Is it the 7 dimensions, right? I can talk about that all day.
Well, thank you. Yeah, that's really
Right.
good. So I'm going to share on my end what I've been doing at Media Options for the last week. My top things have been, I don't often broker domains. I do have an extensive background in sales and domain name sales, but in the past week or so, I did broker one domain, which was really fun for me. I like doing it.
And it
I
was
just
a
don't have
very good sale too.
Yeah.
I mean, you got all the money on that name. You got all the money. I don't know if you got it, if we could share details, but you got all the money on that name. That was a great sale.
Yeah, it was. No money left on the table.
No, zero.
Yeah. I've been working a lot with escrow.com this week. They have been fantastic, but just a lot of, the two of your deals have needed some escrow follow-up. So just unusual situations or, payments sent in multiple increments, or I had a client who sent a payment in euro, but he sent it to be received in US dollars and he calculated wrong. So he was $700 short and it held up the whole thing, just little things like that. We did hire someone at Media Options for our social media. So that has been a pretty big deal to get onboarded this past week. So I've been busy with that. And DomainSherpa, very busy well, first of all, Rand Fishkin last week was phenomenal. What he had to say was amazing. Researching and preparing for that was,
you didn't have to show him up though,
Oh! You know what I really wanted to do though? Rand is, he has such a great, his personality, his public persona is really well developed. And I love, you always know you're going to get Rand with and I really wanted to do 80s hair and have it all ready to be like, hey, Rand. But instead I spent my time reading his books. So I really enjoyed it. I love Sherpa. And so I've spent a lot of time this week lining up the rest of the summer in particular, because it is a very busy time for our guests. So so I'd say that's my brief overview of this week. I'm sure I missed something that took me 15 hours, but that's what I got right now. Your turn, Drew. What have you been up to?
Yeah, I mean, this week has been a little bit of a roller coaster for me. On a personal level, where we thought we had found our dream house in Lisbon. We may still get it, but the sellers backed out of the deal that we had. We had we shook hands, we hugged. In my world, that's a deal, and that's more important than whatever ends up on that paper. But that's not necessarily the way everybody does business. And over the years, you learn that is unfortunately more often than not. And so now we're back at a low, and we'll find out tomorrow if we're gonna have a house. Otherwise, we're gonna go back on the hunt. On a business standpoint, this past week we completed one really large deal that was great to get through completely through. There were, I would say that the number of inbound inquiries on the domains that we own probably was a little bit slower than I saw in May, which, is typical. The things in the summer, people start traveling, people are focused on getting their kids out of school, people are focused on whatever. They're working maybe a few less hours. So typically June, July, particularly August, particularly slow down. So less inbound inquiries, but still actually quite an excellent week.
You mentioned a good sale, Drew.
We onboarded a couple of really nice domains, which we should be bringing to market, end of this week or next week. That was actually something I spent quite a bit of time on. And then a few other, sort of higher level deals. But sorry, Tess, what were you saying?
That's okay. I was saying you mentioned that we had a great deal. And I bet our viewers are wondering what you define as a great deal. I'm supposed to ask the tough questions.
It's all relative. To be honest with you, every freaking deal that I close is a good deal as far as I'm concerned. I mean, look, I sold a .io domain for $1,200 yesterday or the day before. And I clicked that accept button and I thought, great deal, paid whatever, $20 or something for it, boom, $1,200. Thank you very much. You just bought my plane tickets to Greece. So,
I'd have to say
deal was a great deal. This was an excellent deal.
Thank you for qualifying. Yeah. And that is true, because I do see you really look for win-wins.
I'll just add, that's a good question. It really is. I mean, because I've seen that in the deals, especially Drew's deals. You do. It's like, hey, you got your profit. There's no second guessing. You get it. You move on. You're happy. And
there's no point in looking back ever. The worst thing that you can do in your life, never mind in business, is look back. Look back to learn. Never look back with regret, ever.
Yeah.
You made a decision based on a certain set of circumstances, and it's the moment you made that decision, the circumstances changed, and so you cannot say ever, you can never look back and say, I made the wrong decision. You made it based on the circumstances.
That's true. Yeah. And Drew, how about the startup volume? The domain name search for startups is really, kind of on the upward tick. Startups really are always looking for domains.
Listen, the market in general is just on fire. I think I already said this the last time when we were all together and did the sort of market overcap, which we should do again sometime soon. This has been the best, at that point it was the best 3 or 4 months that I've seen. This has been the best first half of the year I've ever seen, at least in media auctions. I know several of our clients with large portfolios say the same. The market is excellent. And so I hope, anybody out there with good domains, I hope you're reaping the rewards. And if you're not feeling that the market is great, then you probably should be looking at why isn't my portfolio getting a lot of business? Why am I not moving names out the door? Is it my pricing, or am I not getting inquiries? And if you're not getting inquiries, then you're probably not buying the right kind of names. Mm-hmm. But the right type of name is also cyclical. What's hot now may not be hot a year from now.
That's good to know. Would you say it's a good time to buy with the market? To sell with the market so hot, or would you say you think it's going to keep going up and to hold?
I'll tell you what. Here's the thing. I was pretty bullish on domain names. I've been pretty openly very bullish on great domains. I'm talking the best. Really great oneword.com brands, 2 letters, 3 letters, anything has utility value and is scarce. I'm bullish. They're not making more of these things. So not .coms at least. So I'm pretty bullish. And then our conversation with Rand really reinforced everything I was thinking and kind of made me even double down on it. I'll tell you what, unless I need money, I'm not, if we have a slow month, then sure, I'll be a little more open to offers. But I'll tell you what, I'm not in a rush to let the best names go. It's just, I think the only thing I've ever been hesitant on was always longevity of domains as, their current utility. I'm sure the utility will take different forms in the future, but I'm pretty, I don't see it going anywhere anytime soon. Rand doesn't see it going anywhere anytime soon. I think it's, till we hit terrible economic crisis, I think strong domains are going to perform very, very well.
Okay. Well, thank you. Thank you both.
Yeah.
I think that will do it for our.
Let's review some names.
What's that?
Yeah, let's review some names.
Yeah. So our Insider Edition, part 1, I think was a great success. Let's pause for a moment. I'll tell you about our sponsors for today's show who support us in our mission to educate people in the domain industry. And then we'll proceed with the 2 domain review segments just like usual. Thanks.
First, serious about online trading? Secure your funds, keep your merchandise safe, and use a company that keeps the buyer and seller protected the whole way through. That's escrow.com. Payments you can trust.
All right. In the domain portfolio review, we take user-submitted domain name portfolios and provide honest and constructive feedback to the owners so they can either cut their losses, continue to hold them long-term, or figure out a sales strategy going forward. Today's portfolio is from Todd Hastings. I believe you both have that in front of you there. To our Sherpa network, if you're watching the show, this might be the point where you want to press the pause button, review the domains yourself, kind of price them or pick your top or bottom 3, then come back and listen. That's the best way to improve your thinking, where you can think it through yourself and then challenge your thoughts against those of our Sherpas. So Drew, I think if you're up to go first here. So we have Todd Hastings' portfolio here. It starts with, I don't know how to say it, Hollow School, and it ends with mineroblockchain.com.
Minero.
Oh, MineRoblockchain, sorry.
So, all right, yeah. So, look, this isn't my kind of portfolio. I've said it a million times. I'm not a big fan of taking let's go out and register brand new domains and hope we hit the lucky number. Honestly, you're better off going and playing bingo. You're better off going and, go play craps, pick a number. Your odds are better. Your odds are truly better than, trying to hand register 1,000 new domains and hoping that one of them strikes. Because when one strikes, all you've done is pay some fraction of your renewal bills, and another one's going to strike. And, if you're not selling at least 2-3% of your portfolio every year, you're sitting on liabilities. So,
okay, hang on. I've never heard you say that. I'm sorry. Have I not listened? So if you're not selling, right? Did I just get in trouble? If you're not selling 2 to 3% of your portfolio per year, you really want to stop, maybe get some professional advice and change strategy. That's the number.
These are really unique assets. So it's hard to sort of put in a box of, 2 to 3%. Depends on how much you paid to buy the names in the first place, because the carrying cost is relatively low. But if you paid a lot of money, then you're carrying a bunch of capital, and then that has a higher cost. So what you paid, when you bought it, it influences is that percentage. But in general, in these types of things, as an asset investor, you need to be turning over usually 2 to 3%.
Okay, thanks. All right, any domain in there that you would keep?
Yeah, so there's one name so all that being said, I just don't encourage that strategy. I mean, it works for some people, and if it works for you, great, tremendous. But it's a tough go. So, but there is one name in here I really like, which is digidepot.com. And Digideposit. I like both. Yeah. Both Digideposit, both would be good. But Digideposit, I think it's a great name because one of the most profitable businesses in the cryptocurrency space, which is unbelievable hot right now from a domain perspective, and is the idea of custodial services and sort of escrows and places where you can say, okay, look, I don't want to worry about my cryptographic key. I don't know how this freaking thing works. I want somebody else to take it. I want them to be insured, and I want them to be safe, and blah, blah, blah. And there's a lot of companies out there, and more being built with trying to provide that service. And Digi Deposit is a pretty bang on name for that business.
Okay.
So I like that name a lot. And it's one of those things where knowing your name and knowing who the buyer is going to be is super important. You have a name like Digi Deposit. It's very easy. I am hoping he hand registered all these names, but some of them maybe he could have bought an auction and he'd be okay. Some of the holo names, but in general, Digi Deposit would be easy to get $1,000, $2,000, and be like, oh wow, I hand registered this name, I got $2,000. That's great, but the reason, the value in Digi Deposit is that it's a very fast growing and very profitable business. It's not a small business. And so the buyer there, who's your buyer? Your buyer is going to have money. They want to have a real brand. Trust is critical. So if they've decided that Digi Deposit is a trustable name for their customers, they're going to put money behind it. So it's not a name you should go and sell for the first $2,500 offer that comes in. It's a name that I wouldn't sell really. I'd be looking for a 25 plus offer. And, I think it all depends on what your financial situation is. Takes money to have the luxury to say no. So, but I think that if you have the right buyer on the other end of that name, and you say, no, look, this is what I need for this. Someday I think you get, maybe let's say 15 to 25 grand. I think that name should sell for that at some point.
Very good. Okay. Thank you, Drew. Chris, you're up. I know you want to get this just right, but don't worry. I know it's not time for you to be drinking beer like it is for Drew in Germany.
Hey, look, if I'm doing a Domain Sherpa at 9 p.m. in Germany, I'm drinking beer. I'm sorry.
I think if I had German beer, I'd probably drink it, right? Good German beer. Reminds me of my time in Austria when I was in school there. Loved it. Drink a lot of beer. Probably enough. What's that?
I'll be in Austria in 2 weeks.
Okay. Love it. So beautiful. With Drew on the general portfolio, I mean, one of the things, obviously I came into a different way in domain names, right? I mean, I came in brokering Drew's domains and domains for media options. So I'm completely skewed on how I came in versus most people in the domain industry, right? They came in hand registering things, having to do that. I came in with Drew saying, hey, broker big data. Okay. Right. So it's like getting caviar, right? Yeah. It's like getting caviar, going out to a 5-star restaurant and saying, hey, do you eat this food cart, right? You can do it,
Baptism by fire. I'm a firm believer. Baptism by fire.
Well, and let me tell you, I did have the baptism by fire. That's for sure.
Yes.
I paid the dues, have the scars to prove it. So I mean, I look at it from the standpoint of marketing, and I don't know. I don't know if I could really get, for me, the portfolio. It's very tough. I mean, I don't necessarily like it because I don't know how to market it. Right. I wouldn't know how to on some of these BitStep. I don't know what I would do with that. Right. And you think of one of the challenges on domain names is a company finding your domain name. Right. I mean, you think about it, think of the journey that a company goes through. Okay. They're rebranding, they're coming with the brand. They have to have the creativity to find that. I don't know how you would have the creativity to come up with some of these names. Right.
So Chris, based on your experience speaking with companies who are potential buyers, or, leaving messages saying, hey, call me back on bigdata.com is one thing. What do you think a response would be for nydentalhelp.com if you called a bunch of dentists in New York? Do you think you'd get a good response, or what do you think they would say to you on that?
Right. So, I mean, look at your domain strategies, right? You have a brand, a sub-brand, you have marketing strategy, you have you're doing it for, I forget the last one, but, so that people don't, fraud, whatever, right? For security reasons. How many people would want it? I mean, is there a market for it? Yeah, at some point there may be, right? There may be a marketing campaign for that, but it's like finding that right combination of the doctor or the dental that needs that, right?
Yeah.
So I still think you're up against the same challenge. It's interesting. I mean, I'm not just taking the same domain as you, Drew, but there was the domain that I picked too, DigiDeposit, just because there's just so much going into this category today. There's just so much. I mean, you look at Coinbase; they just acquired another company. Like they're on a like a buying spree, right?
Yeah.
And I mean, everyone is coming, and I mean, I still think there's such an opportunity to build your foundation in that space. I like that one. At first, I liked CoinChainNetwork.net. Then I saw, there's obviously the .coms out there. I'm sorry, Blockchain Network. Once again, I would approach it from how are they going to use it, right? Who's the buyer? What are they going to use it for? Drew, I think you put it
And
perfectly.
you're struggling to see that.
I am,
okay.
Yeah.
So LittleRockMD.com as a geo?
I mean,
would you keep that and renew that every year?
This is one of those names that I tell people, like, if you're starting out in this business, that's a money in the bank name. You just got to do the work. If you pick up a Little Rock Yellow Pages and you call 100 doctors in Little Rock and you say, look, I got littlerockmd.com, the first guy to take this for $999, you're going to sell that domain. Maybe even going to get $19.99, but probably not going to get much more than that. And you got to put in the work. So don't come knocking on my door and say, look, you go put in the work and I get $200 to call 100 dentists. We're not interested. But if you're hand registering, littlerockmd.com for $9, go call 100 doctors. You'll make,
okay.
It might take you 2 days, but you're going to make, $1,000 to $2,000.
Would you say the same for SydneyAllergy.com?
Not really. That's not money in the bank. You might find somebody, but Little Rock MD, it is what it says.
I'll
be known as the Little Rock MD. Here you go.
Yeah.
Okay. And I second. I actually knew a doctor in Little Rock. They've now gone. I mean, a horrible domain at first, but I second that. I think there is some opportunity there. I think there's that sweet spot, right? You think of the small business owner and what they're willing to pay. They're willing to pay, $3,000 to $5,000, right? I mean, they're like, they have a business that's going. If they can get a better domain, you get them the right time. They're willing to pay that. That's not much for them, right? If
it's the right time.
Yeah.
Timing is everything.
Okay. All right. Thank you. I think that's fabulous. Todd, thank you for submitting that. We'd love to hear back, maybe check back in a couple months, a year, to see how this review has been helpful to you in your domain investing activities, and what strategies you incorporate based on this. So thank you.
I think Holocar was on there, and I like that name too.
Oh.
Holocar, I mean, I don't even know why. I don't even know if it's something that exists or ever will. It looked good. Some domains you look at and you go, it's just that domain looks good.
Really? But not, so you like Holocar, but not Holocash or Holoschool?
It doesn't do anything for me. Like, I don't even know what it means. But I like that Holocar thing. It just kind of looks like a good brand,
Okay, possible good brand, je ne sais quoi. Okay, all right. Well, let us know, Todd. Before we jump into the domains going to auction soon, let's take a moment, check in with our sponsors who support us in this educational mission.
Finally, if you're a domain name investor, don't you have unique legal needs that require domain name technical know-how and industry experience? That's why you need Stephen Lieberman of Greenberg & Lieberman or Jason Schaefer of Esquire.com. Go search for Jason Schaefer or Stephen Lieberman on DomainSherpa, watch their interviews, and you can see for yourself that they can clearly explain issues, can help you with buy-sell agreements, deal with website content issues and UDRP actions, and even help you write your website terms and conditions. Stephen Lieberman and Jason Schaefer are the lawyers to call for internet legal issues. See for yourself at esquire.com or aplegal.com.
So we'll move on to the marketplace list now. This segment is sponsored by NameJet. We're reviewing domains going to auction soon. If you like one of the names below, click through and don't delay on that, because once they go to auction, not only do you lose your chance to put in a minimum bid, but even just to watch the auction, which you can really learn a lot from. So the links below go directly to NameJet. We don't get commission from them. They just want to know that we're sending them the traffic.
So, usually on these NameJet lists, there's one or two names that are really stand out, great names. There's none on here that I am totally in love with, to be honest. But there's a few good names in here. So I'll leave the A-K to Chris, state abbreviation. Eventcoordinators.com, I was a little surprised. So off the cuff, I like that name a lot. It's a profession. It's a profession that can earn very good money. But there was no search volume, and that really struck me. I mean, below 1,000 searches, really, I'm pretty shocked. How event coordinators, I guess it's more event planners. But nonetheless, I do think that event coordinators, it still holds weight, even if it's not going to be as much of an SEO advantage, and it's not the keyword that everybody's searching for. It has that pull effect. So if you've got some kind of an SEO advantage, if you've got, large volume keywords, it has this push effect because you're going to create demand. But if you've got a name people get it, they recognize it, it instills trust, like event coordinators isn't as good as event planners. But if I get an email from somebody that's from eventcoordinators.com, I'm going to feel like, oh, this is a serious company. It has the same pull effect, even if it doesn't have the same push effect. So I like that name. I think that's another, $15,000, $25,000, $35,000 name. If you get the right event planner, event coordinator, on the right day.
Okay.
I don't think easy sell. I think it's an easy sell in the 5-10 grand range. Maybe even a little bit more, maybe 15. But right day, right buyer, I think you get more. I think you get 25 to 35. And then what else do I like in here? Fastrecovery.com. I like that. It could have a lot of different applications. It's never going to be a company brand, but it's a great campaign name. I can easily see a flu medicine launching a nationwide television campaign, with fastrecovery.com, or it could be physical therapy. It could be drug addiction. It could be, it could be a million things. It really could. It could be all different types of healthcare. It could even be like emergency relief after fast recovery after a hurricane. It's one of those names. It could be a million different things, and it's a great campaign name. It's sort of a call to action. I like it. It's not a call to action, but it has an effect.
It's close. Yeah. I was thinking too, I wish Shane were here. Isn't that a term in recovery? Isn't that a term in running with your muscles and stuff? And then recovery.
Yeah. Right. Weightlifting, any type of exercise. You have recovery faster. Yeah. And that's a great name. So actually, the more I'm really, that was like, oh, I like that name. I might pay, $500, $1,000. And now I'm really talking myself into this name. I like this name a lot. Fastrecovery.com.
And speaking of our insider edition, we do have conversations like that. And all of a sudden, maybe I know it's a term somewhere and people value this and it's, good for a marketing campaign. And when you can take that knowledge all together, then all of a sudden we're paying a lot more for a domain.
Yeah.
I really like that. I really like, Drew, when you show me, a name you just bought, and I'm like, I love it. Don't sell that one cheap.
After you do this, I just bought one name. I'm gonna ask you two what you guys think.
Okay, you bought it right now while we're airing?
I'm not telling you. All right. So, and then, okay, I'll tell you one more. Gotta love those vegan names. They sell. No, I'm going to go, Lumber Supply. Lumber Supply.
Yeah.
Great name, great business. That business isn't going anywhere. It's not going to be a home run name, but the only problem though is that you have these super standout giants in the space, like Lumber Liquidators, and so it's very difficult for everybody else to compete. And so you may not
low margin too.
Yeah, low margin, and so it might not be the home run. Like when I think Lumber Supply, it's like, bam, that's the name other than lumber.com. Right. It's like, wow, lumbersupply.com. I'm proud to put that on my business card. But
that was my thought too, Drew. When I saw it, I was like, wow, okay. Originally, I went to that one, but the more I thought about the business model and it's very established, right? So I don't know how many new Lumber Supply are coming in, right?
Yeah.
So you're up against that.
You said, it's tight margins.
Yeah.
It's tight margins.
That makes a big difference. Yeah.
Lumber Liquidators has just leveled that field.
Oh. Chris, what are your top three domains in here that you like?
Okay. I'm with you. I really like Fast Recovery. I think that there's just so many different verticals you can go here, right? When you think about it, depending upon price they get it at, you have just all the new businesses starting up in healthcare, right? Recovery, with people falling down, right? There's just I think there's a lot of verticals you can go to. How you can market it to is, pretty endless, right? There's the medical. Yeah. I originally thought Fast Recovery, I was thinking even digital, right? Your hard drive, something goes down, hey, we can recover it for you. So I think there's a lot you could do with that domain. I really like that. And I also I think Vegan Planet, to Drew's point, how many YouTube people out there on vegan? So I don't know what price you get it at, but I think that there's a buyer for it, right?
Yeah.
There's someone out there who, if you can, depending upon the price that you get it, that you could turn around and sell that. I think that, it's just a matter of, will you put the work in? Will you put the work in to sell it?
Yeah. That's the key point is you got to know who's your buyer for a name and what kind of money are they going to pay? And then, and then you got to base your purchase price off that. And then if it's not big enough to go give to a reliable broker, then you got to put the work in because that name's not selling itself.
Yeah. Okay.
Right.
So
one last one, Tess. I like Ocean Energy.
Yes, that was the one I've been waiting for.
I do like that. I think there's going to be more and more out there. I don't know. I'm on this thing on LinkedIn where there's Cheddar. They have these videos. I don't know if you get those. And I don't know. They had some some Ocean Energy things.
I just saw my first Cheddar video the other day. What is Cheddar?
And do they own cheddar.com?
They do, yeah. And they have these I don't know, that's one of the social people share those online, and they always get me. I always look at them because it's always they're building a house in 3 hours or they're doing something, right?
Oh wait, is that the guys that they did the video of the kid he built? What he built? He built a little mud house in 3 hours or something.
Yeah, they do that in technology and all kinds. It's neat. But Ocean Energy, I think that I don't think we've tapped it. I think that as technology comes through, I think that's an option, and it's directly to the point. You get it. So I like that one.
Yeah.
Okay. So cheddar.com is a daily business news publisher. And you're right, something like Ocean Energy. What has more energy than the ocean? The power, the beauty, it touches everyone, right? I think that's a great brand. That's my favorite. Falafel.co. I just like saying it because I love falafels.
I mean, here's the thing. I love falafel. And like, there's probably, literally, there's like 100,000 buyers for falafel.co. The problem is they're going to pay you like $250. You know, like, nobody's going to pay you a lot. I mean, maybe there's that buyer out there that wants to use the brand falafel.
Right.
So you'd be better off going and befriending your local falafel restaurant.
Yeah, so that's my play. On names like that, I'm prone to buy. See, I'm prone to buy names like that because I will go into my local like falafel wrap guy and I'll be like, look, here's the deal. I'm going to give you this domain. I'll get you set up with a website. But you're giving me falafel for life. You know, like this is your domain. You don't give me $1. I'm going to get you all set up. You're going to have the coolest brand out there, but I want falafel for life. And they go for it. You know, I did it with a pizza spot in Casco Viejo in my old town.
You still have pizza for life?
I got ate pizza there like 3 times.
Did you sell that off when you left Panama? Your pizza for life?
No, those were non-transferable rights. The best rights which were conferred upon me in a domain sale were from mushrooms.com. Would you care to share it with the Sherpa Network? No. That's as much as I care to share.
Okay, jetrentals.com.
I'm not a big fan of that. No.
Okay.
It's a competitive space right now. You know, like those people are competing on brand. I didn't look, but Jet Rentals, I don't think that's, if I'm going to book a, you know, it's charter is the word, right. Nobody's renting a jet. You know, because renting kind of implies you're going to use it yourself. Like nobody's going to, you know,
right.
rent it and fly it themselves. They're chartering it with a pilot. So yeah, I don't like it.
Okay. Yeah. Good to know. EcoShopper.com and Inexplicable.com.
I kind of like Inexplicable. I don't know what it's going to be.
For attraction to it,
like for the right price, I definitely buy that name. I mean, you know, I like names that couldn't be like niche digital publications. And like, it doesn't have to be the next Life magazine or New York Times or you know, National Geographic or, you know, but you know, Inexplicable. Like you can make a cool site that's probably going to get a couple 100,000 visitors a month, posting videos of inexplicable things that have happened or, you know, telling stories or, you know, whatever. There's a niche there. It's a brand. Somebody will make that into a brand. So if I can grab that for a couple $1,000, I'll sit on that for 10 years until that guy shows up. Because when he shows up, Inexplicable.com is probably, you know, let's say 35,000 on the low end and 100 grand on the high end. So, you know, if I can get that for 3 to 5 grand, Inexplicable.com, you know, that's a buy in my eyes.
Good to know. Thank you.
You got a low, you know, everything's about upside, downside. So you got a very limited downside. I mean, if you're getting that name at 2, 3, 4 grand, your downside is very, very, very limited. Very limited. Like practically zero downside.
Yeah.
And so, but your upside is 20x potentially. And there's probably a high probability of a 3 to 5x.
Right.
And so, you know, to me, that's a great investment.
Right.
But again, you know, it doesn't mean you're going to get it for that. That name could go 8, 10, 12 grand on NameJet. It might go higher.
Right. Yeah.
Sorry, I needed to plug in.
No problem.
Well, thank you. That's really insightful. Thank you both for this. I think we're at the end of today's show. I'd like to give the Sherpas an opportunity to share anything they have going on in their lives, personal, professional, brokering, selling opportunities. Anything you want to give a shout out to? Chris, you're first.
Sure. I mean, I'd say just, watch out for our social, kind of what we're doing there with videos, and we're up in the game a little bit. And I mean, I think we're sharing some good stuff, right? It's not just our domain names, but really sharing insights into domaining, insights into how we're thinking. And so watch out for that. And like I said, the Media Options site, doing some more live updates or live videos there, as well as just sharing videos on our different platforms.
Thanks, Chris. Yeah. How about you, Drew?
This summer for me is all about, life changes. So we're migrating continents. Right now we are living in Germany. The idea is to eventually be living in Lisbon if we ever get a house. They just basically taking this summer for a ride. I'm going to give a shout out to you and Chris. You guys are, taking Media Options to a new level. Tess, I mean, here we are on DomainSherpa, you keeping it real. Chris, you are doing everything I was never capable of doing on DomainSherpa, on Media Options. And, so I'm blown away watching both of you really blossom in the last year. So that's all I have to say.
Well, thank you.
Grateful to be, in the position I am, to be able to have the opportunity to, unwind my life this summer and re-plug in somewhere in Europe.
We'll join you at some point.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Next Media Options meeting, Dusseldorf or Lisbon.
All right.
Yeah, so
I vote
hopefully
Lisbon.
I vote Lisbon too.
Yeah. So on my end, I think lately the newest, thing that I've been up to is still the crypto newsletter, keeping me pretty busy. Other than that, all's good. And I think I'm going to have a puppy born this month.
Whoa.
Yeah, a
But
Cavachon.
But puppies, you don't get like one puppy. Puppies don't.
Yeah.
No, like I ordered it.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, okay. No, I don't like
I
have
was like, wait, Tess, I'm not sure you know how this works, but
no. So it looks like it looks like we'll have a puppy born for us. I don't really know how it works. I think, if we're second, we get the second pick of the litter, and then I guess the dog will be 6 weeks old, I think, when we get it.
We have to ask what breed is it?
Huh?
Yeah, what breed?
We have to ask what breed is it?
Cavachon. It's like half King Charles Cavalier and half Bichon.
Wow.
I didn't know what either of those dogs look like.
Oh my gosh, it is so cute.
But I know that they're both small, right?
Yeah. It's a small, hypoallergenic, like calm, adorable lap dog.
It's not one of those dogs that like has trouble breathing, like.
No, it's so cute. Who knows? Maybe in August or September, our little puppy will make maybe I could name it something domain themed. We'll see. It could be the Sherpa Wait, if I make it the Sherpa mascot, can it be a tax write-off?
I think so. Gotta be. There gotta be a loophole there somewhere.
Yeah. Yes. So that's what's going on in my life. So thank you so much, guys, for coming on, especially you, Drew, late evening in Dusseldorf, to our Sherpa Network. Thanks for joining us today. If you've received benefit from today's show, please post a comment below. Thank today's Sherpas. Thank you to Todd Hastings for submitting his portfolio. Remember, anyone in the Sherpa Network can submit your portfolio via the link on DomainSherpa.com. Thank you to NameJet for submitting to us their domains to review. And most of all, Chris and Drew, thank you.
Oh, thank you, Tess. All right.
Thank you.